folks, welcome back to the Making of Society Anxiety. This is part 2. So it's just a little series to explore, document the creation, writing, recording, promotion of it, eventually, hopefully, the song Society Anxiety. Again, this is currently a song that nobody knows about, but it's a song that I got one of those special feelings about, and I just wanted to put this process down. So jumping right into it, I started writing the song still kind of in the thick of the pandemic, and I wanted to write something that sort of captured the general, craziness, disarray, sort of disunity the world was going through at the time, and really still is going through, but still highlight the positivities of the world, because there's a lot going on that's really, really cool, and it's not sexy, so it doesn't make the news, but it's still really important to call out. I wanted the song to capture all of those feelings of just everything that's going on, but then still try to find a way to remember that, hey, there's amazing things going on too, and we are always losing sight of it. I was trying to find a way to capture that, and it's just one of those things that was banging around in my head, but I hadn't tried to write a melody, write any lyrics. I happened to be driving home one day. Actually, I was either heading out somewhere or driving home. I can't remember. And there was a song on Minnesota's The Current. It was a song called Anxiety by The Idols. Just a quick shout out to The Current here. So The Current is a radio station. It's online now too. But it is a Minnesota radio station that is a member supported. It basically has playlists that are all over the place. So they go all over genres. It tends to push kind of more independent things, whether it is hip hop, alternative rock, country, even everything. So I love listening to it because it puts new things in front of my ears. And thank goodness this happened this time. So yeah, it was a song by a band called The Idols, who I had never heard of before. But I recommend you check them out because they're very cool. No, Anxiety by The Idols is a much more classic punk sound. It's very raw. It's very visceral. It punches you right in the gut, which I think really is why I was so inspired by it. And it was a very exciting song. It took me a while to figure out who the band was, because I had heard this song one time in The Current, probably a month or two before I kind of really got into writing the song. So it took me a bunch of listens online of songs titled Anxiety to figure out who the band was. Also, while I was doing this, I was kind of feeling a little bit nervous because I was a little bit worried. I was like, please tell me that the song that you've been writing, you didn't just wholesale rip off from The Idols. And I was happy to find out that it is quite a different song. I think you can hear the inspirations, and there's probably a couple moments that you can say, yeah, I can see where there's a relation between these songs, but they are ultimately very different songs, and I was, of course, quite relieved by that. So I was listening to that on the radio, and that something just tweaked in my head. There's like a little spark that happened, and I said, I know what's going to happen, or at least I had the beginnings of it. So. And this is another thing where the tools have changed since I started recording this. But at the time, in the app for SoundCloud, you could just record a little audio and then send it up to the cloud. They've phased that out since, so I'm not going to have many more of these little snippets to play you. But this is the very original. I was just basically in my car, just singing little things back and forth. 2021, February 17th. This is what I ended up coming up with. So I'll play it unedited. A lot of these clips I'm going to play you from the beginning. Yeah, they're not going to be all that in tune, or they're just ideas or sketches. I'm not taking a lot of time to flesh them out. So here's what it ended up sounding like. Headlines scroll through my eyelids, invading my cocoon of bliss. Society, anxiety, we're living in. And as you can hear there, I actually am still using a whole bunch of that melody. I mean, essentially the whole thing. And granted, that was just a little snippet of the entire track, and that's all I recorded at the time because that's all I had bouncing around in my head. But that little teeny short recording is what started this whole track. So, hey, stay tuned for part 3, and as always, let's be cool to each other.